Now, last week we talked about the Cards of Cthulhu. Pretty good game. I liked it a lot. I compared it a little bit to Elder Scrolls a bit. But overall, I thought this was a pretty good game. This week, though, we've got Cards of Cthulhu Beyond the Veil expansion. Does it add anything to the game? Does it change the game any? Or does it just give you more of the same? Let's take a look. So, I've already explained the game in a prior video. We're just going to look at this expansion and see what it adds, because it adds a whole bunch of new things to it. First of all, you have a whole nother board, so that's 5 boards you have to face, and a whole bunch of new cultists, as you can see. You also have new items that can be found. It adds in a whole bunch of more cards to make it even more difficult, but over here we have 2 new types of cards. First of all, we have investigations. You can instead, in your turn, because you have a new turn order, as you can see, you reactivate followers, draw cult cards, duration of gates, and that depends on how many that you know, as you know, when a gate comes out, an extra card is pulled depending on which type of the game you're playing. You make your purchases, you place your cult powers, you awaken any horrors if they can be awakened, you suffer any sanity loss, and then combat. But in here, there's target investigations. That's what these cards are. You can actually pay and go and try to investigate these cards, and you would have to, of course, pay for them, but they can add you benefits or they can hurt you. Now, what's also added to this are these cards here, which are cult powers. Now, if there's 2 of these of the same color on the board, you would use the lower value. Other than that, you use the upper value. But look at the nastiness that it does. Say you've got a board full and this comes out. Add 1 to the value of minions on this cult board, so they all get added to 1. So particularly this card here, it would go from a 2 to a 3. And that just makes it even nastier and harder. And there's all kinds of different cards in here that do all kinds of different things. And they are just very, very nasty. Also, you get these new coins. You get 5 new coins, which are fibers. So that helps you from using up all your coins. And of course, they're metal and they're cool. And they just really add to the game and make it easier, because you do run out of coins fairly quickly. And of course, we have new investigators and new followers, and they just add a lot of different flavor to the game, which is just really, really cool. And let's not forget the investigation cards. They represent information and clues that can aid you in your fight. If you choose to investigate, you may gain valuable benefits. If you choose not to investigate, or if you fail to complete an investigation, you suffer a penalty. You complete investigations during a combat phase, which is a whole new phase that's put onto this card. To target an investigation, allocate your investigator or follower to each investigation. Place their die in the investigation cards. If you assign your investigator to an investigation, all your investigator's dice and any spirit dice you purchase must be placed on that investigation. So you've got to try to beat this investigation, which is just really, really nasty to begin with. And of course, they're random, so you don't know what you're going to get, and it could just be really, really, really tough. In order to investigate, you would have to beat this number here. Now, if you draw a 1, you automatically fail and have to pay the penalty. If you succeed, you get to draw and discard 3 cult cards from the deck, which helps wind that deck down, because the way you win the game is to go through the entire deck. And of course, it adds a ton of new cards, so it makes it even harder. So if you're playing with 4 people, now you have to contend with 5 boards, which can be very, very tough. And now with these extra powers in it, I think playing a 4-player game, it'll be a lot tougher. And of course, playing the 1-player game is very exciting on top of that. So let's go up top and see what I think about Beyond the Veil expansion for the Cards of Cthulhu. Oh my god, this is so cool. This really adds to the game. I really like it. The 5th board. Like 4 wasn't bad enough. And then there's ways to scale down the game where you could play with a full deck or half a deck or a quarter of a deck, depending on how you want to play it. And then to add in the 5 coins, which really helps because you don't get a lot of coins to begin with. So that's kind of cool. So you get those new experience coins. And then the investigators and then the cult powers. Wow, really adds a lot. But that's what Dan does. That's what makes DVG games so great. He listens to you. He hears what you have to say, and he makes adjustments to his games, and he's always been a man of the people. Wait, he's a man of the people. Oops. But anyways, he's always listened to you guys, and has always tried to make games, and has never been ego driven. If you've ever seen anything from this guy, he's just a really nice guy. I don't know him personally, but that's the vibe I get from him. And every game that he's ever done or reissued has always had something special in it, and it's only made the games better. So I suggest you go get both of these if you can find them. They're very, very good games. I gotta give this an 8 out of 10 because it just adds so much to the base game. It actually enhances it a lot. So that's it for this week's reviews. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, I'm Rob Oren. We'll see you soon.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.